Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for viewing. Today is just going to be another Git video. I said this would be the last one, but it's not going to be the last one. But this is going to be the last one for like the next couple of weeks in terms of Git. I will have other technical content coming next week. It's just going to be different content, okay? So, this video right here is all about squashing your commits. Now, depending on like your team that you're working with, or like let's say if you're contributing to open source and they have like specific contributing guidelines, right? Depending on these things, you may have to squash your commits before pushing it up and making that pull request. What squashing a commit is taking all the commits that you've made on this feature branch and squashing it all into one single commit. Okay? So all the changes that you made, let's say like you worked on a feature, you started adding more stuff, committing, adding more stuff, committing, adding more stuff, committing. Then you can squash it all into one commit and push that up, make that pull request. They can see everything that you had, and and then they can decide whether or not they want to merge it in and pull it in. Again, this is all based on where you're working, what team you're working on, what open source projects you're contributing to. This is all case by case. Not every workspace does this. Not every open source repo will ask you to do this, but I have seen it quite a few times, and this is why I'm making this video, just so you have a little more information on how to do these simple tasks. Okay? Alright, that being said, let's just get into the video. Let's just get into the video. Okay. So I did a few things since the last we were here. I made a GitHub repo that I could like merge stuff into and pull to, so that we have good like history. I added the GitHub repo to remote, and I pushed master up, and then I pushed up the C cheap feature, and then I merged that into master and pull that down into master, and then you could see the merge pull request from C feature. And now you can also see that I checked out documentation, because we'll just add some more stuff to documentation, simply put. Now, I'm going to do a few things here so that we could see how rebasing can work. And then I'm also going to show you another thing that you can do in case like you don't have a head, so to speak. So we're going to make quite a few commits on here. Okay, so here we have this. Part 4 is gonna be all about squashing commits. So we've learned about rebasing already with the previous video, which is perfect because now we're gonna know how to... Now, rebase is gonna be what we use to actually squash our commits. Like I was saying before, squashing the commits, your commits is the act of combining all the commits into one commit. Like all the specified commits into one commit, okay? Okay, the reason I'm going to show you two ways, because like normally, okay, so if we do our git log, we have, this is the one commit that we made on this feature branch. That's why let's add some more. Let's add a little bit more. we could start working from here. Now, look. So this is our most recent commit on this branch. Again, if you're squashing commits, this is either because like this is the workflow that your job wants, and or let's say if you're contributing to an open source project, right? And in their contributing guidelines, they tell you, oh, make sure that this is all in just one commit. And you've made like several commits because this was maybe a hefty feature. Now, what you can do is you just squash all those commits into one, and you're meeting those contributing guidelines, and you will be able to successfully make that pull request, and your change might be added into their open source repository. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And this is the most recent commit from them. These are all the commits that you made, and these are the 4 commits that you want to squash into one commit before pushing up this code, okay? Okay, so first I'm going to show you the command. It is git rebase interactive, and you can do head, squiggly, and then here you place like the number that you're doing, right? Which would be like, I don't know. So like, let's say we have 4 commits here, so we would put 4. But the thing with head is that if you use head, you actually have to either like git log and count all of the commits that you have made so that you can put that exact number inside of here, right? If you don't want to count your commits, you can do git rebase interactive and give it the commit hash. And the commit hash we'd be providing is this one. The commit hash before all the changes that you have made. I think that's the easiest way to go about it, because now you're not counting. So now like we know like, okay, well this is the most recent commit before I started making any changes. And I know that I want to squash all of these commits into one. So we can do git rebase interactive, and then we'll give it that commit hash, which is 8BB2A39. Okay, and also there's a shorthand for interactive, which is just it's just I. So you could do git rebase -I and then give it the commit hash. And now we'll get into this like Vimy Nano kind of terminal. I don't really know what this I really don't know exactly what this kind of terminal is called. I just call it the Vimy Nano type of terminal. You all know that this is what I call it, but yeah, if you do know, you can just correct me in the comments here. So okay, so now take a careful look at this, because this is showing us all the commits that we're trying to squash, and this is in reverse order of which we made it, right? Because first we made prepare for new edition, then we made add section 4, then we made section 4 title, then we made section 4 overview, okay? Right? Everyone follows, right? For git rebase interactive, it gives us a guide here with the commands. Pick, reword, edit, squash, fix up, exec, break, drop, label, reset, and merge. Right now, we're only concerned about pick and squash. Alright, so we're going to pick the first commit that we started working on. And now we are going to, now we're going to turn this into S for squash. You can just use the shorthand. You don't have to like spell out squash, but if you wanted to spell out squash, that is perfectly fine. It's still going to work. But here we have pick. So we're picking the first commit that we started working on, and any like commit that we have S on is going to be squashed into the closest pick. Okay, these 3 are being squashed into this one commit. You want to be the first. You want the first commit that you made on this feature branch to be the one that you pick, and the following commits to be the ones you squashed into the one that you pick. Okay. All right. So now we can remember we can do escape to exit out of this Vimy terminal. So we can do :WQ to right quit out of this. And then it'll also give us this. So now, remember, this is now that stage that we were in before in one of the previous videos when we showed you if you just did like git commit and you didn't give it the -m flag, or git commit amend and we didn't give it the -m flag, or we didn't give it a no edit flag, then we would end up in this Vimy kind of terminal that allows us to edit our commit, right? You do that by pressing I to get into insert mode, the I key, and now we can start changing stuff in here. We can take out the comments in this code. So I'm just going to remove all this stuff. If you want, you can keep all of these, because literally this is just showing you the commit messages for all of the items that you have squashed. But if you don't want to keep those, then you can just delete them all and give your commit message docs readme add section 4. Okay? And now like all of this other stuff is just fluff. So we can just delete all this extra stuff. We don't need it. If you do want to keep them, again, if you do want to keep them, you can. But here we have docs readme add section 4. We can escape out of this interactive terminal and :WQ to right quit. Now if we do git log, we will see docs readme add section 4. All of those commits were added into this one commit, and it has the changes that we made. So now we could git push origin documentation. We push those up. Now we're going to go over to merge our pull requests in, and we're going to see what that looks like. So now I'm here with this YouTube Pro repo that has this code. We compare and pull requests, and we see docs readme add section 4. And we'll see the changes. Now, if you made changes to multiple files, you'll see all of those changes here because, well, that's what you added. But because we just made changes, small local changes to this one file, you're not going to see that much. But like, you could just think of this as different features you made. You can just think of this as like you were working on one feature branch. Maybe you worked in multiple files to create this one feature, and you had so many commits, but the contributing guidelines for this repo and or your workplace is telling you that you need to squash all your commits before you make that pull request. So now we've just squashed all of our commits into one, and we can create our pull requests. Merge pull request. Yep, and that's about it. Cool. So now if we go to our Get YouTube Pro thing, then we'll see part 4, squashing commits. We're going to learn about squashing commits. All of this was added here, and yeah. Just doing cleanup for when I come back to this repo for the next video. See, now this has merge pull request number 1, which is that C feature, and then we have the docs readme add section 4, and we have merge pull request number 2 from the documentation branch. Git branch, we don't see anything because we just cleaned it all up. GitHub also we won't see anything because we cleaned it all up. Okay? Awesome. And without further ado, I'll send you back to my outro self. Take it away, me. Alright everyone, that was it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something in some way, shape, or form. I make these videos hoping that you can take away a new piece of knowledge that you didn't have in the past. I did mention in the video that I would be telling you like another case where things might not work. Okay, well the head thing also doesn't work if like, let's say you just made this new repository, you have like 2 commits on it, the head thing is not going to work. But you can do git rebase interactive and then do --root, and that will also allow you to squash your like 2 initial commits into 1, and you could just name that setup, so to speak. I'm gonna put the Stack Overflow post that explains this down below in the comments. I'm also gonna update the repos README and quickly just add that Stack Overflow post in there so that you can get a sense of what's going on, and I'll also link that repo in the section below. All right, that is it for the video. Thank you very much for viewing. I'm glad that you are here. Please remember to subscribe if you want to see more. Hopefully you liked the video. If you made it this far, please give the video a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a lot. And I will see you next time. Oh.